Huh?
Let us start. Hari Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshal Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sinduraruna Vigraham Trinayana Manikya Mauli Spura Tara Nayaka Shekaram Smidamukhi Mabina Vatshoruam Padibhyam Alipurna Ratna Jashakam Rattotpalam Bibratim Saumyam Ratnagadastha Rakta Charanam Dhyayet Paramambigam ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्तां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्राय दाक्षीं हेमाभां पीतवस्त्रां करकलितलसत् हेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमभयदां भक्तनम्रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुतां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामलिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्ददिदेक्षणां सदरजावभाषाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीं अरुणमाल्यभूषोज्ज्वलां जपाकुसुममासुरां जपविदौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतमाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिविरावृतां मयूकैः अहमित्येव विभावये महेशीम् ॐ पराशक्ति नमः ॐ पराशक्ति नमः ॐ पराशक्ति नमः. So today we are going to cover from 231 till 240. Om Mahabhairava Pujidaye Namaha. Om Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinye Namaha. Om Mahakamesha Mahishye Namaha. Om Mahatripasundarye Namaha. Om Chatusashtipacharadhyaye Namaha. Om Chatusashtikalamaye Namaha. Om Mahachatusashtikodi Yogini Ganasevidaye Namaha. Om Manuvidyaye Namaha. Om Chandra Vidyaye Namaha. Om Chandra Mandala Madhyagaye Namaha. So the first name is Om Maha Bhairava Pujitaye Namaha. Om Maha Bhairava Pujitaye Namaha. The literal meaning of this is she who is worshipped by Mahabhairava. Mahabhairava. Mahabhairava is another name of Lord Shiva. That is another name of Lord Shiva. Now, in the word Bhairava, Bhairava has got three parts: Bha, Ra, and Va. Bha, Ra, and Va. Bha denotes creation. Ra represents preservation, and Va represents destruction. So the word Bhairava refers to the three functions of Lord Shiva, which is creation, preservation, and destruction. So, Devi is a person who is worshipped by Lord Shiva, who in turn rules over creation, preservation, and destruction. So, Devi, according to this Padma Purana, Shiva is the source of the universe, the source of the universe, and he is holding a rosary in his hand and performing what is called as nyasa. Now, what is nyasa? Nyasa is gestures that we do, and these gestures that is done as part of any puja karma. So, when these gestures are done, energy is passed on to the body. So, energy is passed, so energizing different parts of the body. So, while chanting a particular mantra, an energy or a gesture in the hand using these mudras, the hand. So, when you energize a particular part of the body, you can energize a particular part of the body, that is called as nyasa. So, Shiva is doing all this and he worships the benevolent Devi. And Devi is the Shakti of all the mantras that Shiva is chanting. So, Devi is the Shakti of the mantras that Lord Shiva is chanting. So, Devi's Shakti is there in the mantra, and Devi is Shakti herself personified, who gives Shakti to Lord Shiva. So, these are the several aspects of it. So, and you have the corresponding, just as we talked about the Nyasa aspect. So, Devi, the conclusion is that she who is worshipped by Maha Bhairava, Lord Shiva. Maha Bhairava Pujita, Pujitayai Namaha. The next one, Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Namaha. Om Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Namaha. Now, there are several aspects. Maheshwara is Lord Shiva. Mahakalpa. What is a kalpa? One kalpa is 4.32 billion years. One kalpa is 4.32 billion years, and that is one single day in Brahma's creation, Lord Brahma's creation. 4.32 billion years refers to one single day in Lord Brahma's creation, which is referred to as one kalpa. One kalpa. What is Mahakalpa? Mahakalpa is 36,000 such kalpas. 36,000 such kalpas, which equals 100 days of Brahma's life. That is Brahma's eyes. His entire duration of Brahma's life is 100 days. That is 36,000 such kalpas. So 36 into 4.32 billion years. 36,000 into 4.32 billion years. And there is another aspect, which is the third aspect of the name, which is the Mahatandava. What is Tandava? Tandava is the dance, the cosmic dance done by Lord Shiva. When does Shiva does this cosmic dance? There is this dance he does when the destruction is happening, when the destruction of the world is happening. That is called as Rudra Tandava. It is also called as Samhara Tandava. Rudra Tandava and the Samhara Tandava. When Lord Shiva does this Rudra Tandava or Samhara Tandava, he is in a Prabha Mandala. They say that he is in a Prabha Mandala, which is a ring of fire. And it is within this ring of fire that Lord Shiva does the dancing. And these energies, there's a tremendous amount of energy that is released during this Rudra Tandava or Samhara Tandava. When this energy is released, all this energy is part of whom? Part of Shakti. Shakti takes that entire energy. And when this happens, when this destruction of the world is happening, it's called the Maha Pralaya. And Maha Pralaya is the cycle between creation and destruction. That is the end. Starts creation, preservation, and then finally destruction. When the destruction is happening, Lord Shiva is dancing the Maha Tandava, the Rudra Tandava, the Samhara Tandava. Now there is a happy Shiva dance also. So everybody might be wondering why Lord Shiva is doing only this Tandava while he's destroying the world. No, Shiva does a Tandava when he is happy also, and it's called as Ananda Tandava. It is called as the Ananda Tandava. So two types of Tandavas are there: the Rudra Tandava or the Samhara Tandava, and the Ananda Tandava. So Shiva, in great bliss, performs the Tandava according to the Puranas. He performs the Tandava according to the Puranas. Devi, who's beyond everything, is the sole witness to this Tandava. Devi is the sole witness. Yeah. So there is a Acharya Bhaskara Raya says, victory to your form, bearing the noose, gourd, sugarcane bow, and the arrow of flowers, who is the only witness of the Tandava dance of the axe bearing Parabhairava at the time of his drawing the universe into himself. Lord Shiva is destroying and taking all that Shakti into himself. And where does that Shakti ultimately go? Into Lalitha Tirupati Sundari Devi. Ultimately. Devi Bhagavata describes Devi at the time of dissolution as sporting after absorbing all beings into herself and drawing in the entire universe. And this also is the time in Ardhanarishwara. The concept of Ardhanarishwara, where Lord Shiva and Lord Shakti are one form. Half of the form is Shiva and the other half is Shakti. Ardhanarishwara. The concept of Ardhanarishwara is also coming in at this particular point. Shiva takes away all the strings and Shakti takes all the strings from Lord Shiva. And Mahadevi is the only witness to Mahadeva's cosmic dance. How beautiful it is. I mean, think of the concept of Lord Shiva doing the Rudra Tandava and then Devi watching this in absolute bliss, taking all those strings from Lord Shiva and getting it into herself. Fantastic. And they are joined together as not just as the word and meaning. Ardhanari, or the concept of Ardhanari, is not just the physical joining or the word of joining. The word of Ardhanari being half Shiva and half Shakti. It is the concept that Shakti and Shiva are actually together. It is a concept that Shakti and Shiva are actually together. And so the name basically is Maheshwara, Mahakalpa, Mahatandava Sakshinyai. So she is the witness. She is the witness to the great dance of Maheshwara, the Shiva Tandavam or the Rudra Tandavam at the end of the great cycle of creation. 233. Mahakamesha Mahishi. Kamesha is Kameeshwara. Maha is great. She is the great queen of Mahakameshwara. She is the great queen of Mahakameshwara. That is the meaning of Mahakamesha Mahishi. Mahakamesha Mahishyai Namaha. 234. Maha Tripura Sundari or Maha Tripura Sundariyai Namaha. Om Maha Tripura Sundariyai Namaha. She who is the great Tripura Sundari. She who is the great Tripura Sundari. Now, Tripura is, you can talk of Tripura Sundari is referring to Lalitha Tripura Sundari. But Tripura, in that Tripura Sundari, can be also interpreted as three Puras, meaning there are three cities. There are three cities, or the city of three. And what are these? The city of three: the measurer, the measuring, and the thing that is actually measured. The measurer, the act of measuring, and what is being measured. These are the three aspects, or the knower, the knowledge, and that which is known. Tripura refers to these two perspectives of these two aspects. Now you can also refer to Tripura in another method. You are talking of the gross body, the subtle body, and the casual body. So Devi is Sundari, the beautiful Shakti. She is the person who is there in all aspects. Devi is present in all aspects that we behold. So the Shruti talks of the self. They say that when you are doing a dhyana, talks of the self, and that self is your Atman, which is inside. The self is dearer. This is coming from an Upanishad called Brihadaranyaka. It is from an Upanishad called Brihadaranyaka, and what this says is that the self is dearer than a son, dearer than wealth, dearer than all other objects, being nearer than everything, being inside, and one should meditate on the self alone as dear. So the self is the dearest of all things to living beings. Now, the question that we will be asking is, what is this dear? What is this self? Self is inside your Atman. So they say that you love yourself. You love yourself. When will you start loving yourself? You will start loving yourself when you start looking inwards. See, external love, whatever external love is there between two people, between family, between friends, whatever love is there, external love is ephemeral. It is not permanent. So one small misunderstanding that happens between relationships, that is the end of that love. Finished, over, kalas, over. Whereas if you are looking at yourself, at your Atman, then the chances are, you will not fall out of love of your, with your own self. So the love towards one's own self, inner love, inner viewing, inner observance of what's happening inside you, is going to make you understand that that is the only thing which is permanent. That is the only love which is permanent. Which is why when we talk of meditation, we say, close your eyes. When you meditate, you close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you close your eyes to the external world. You close your eyes to the external world and you open your eyes to the internal self. You open your eyes to your internal self. So what you do when you do your meditation, there is no point in just keeping your eyes open. If you're sitting and doing the yoga in our Karama Park, keep your eyes open, look at the birds, look at the trees around, look at the ground, look at all these things happening, look at the others who are meditating. Yeah, all these things happen. Yeah, all these things happen. Everything except looking inwards. So if you want to really explore yourselves, what you need to do is close your eyes. When you close your eyes that are the windows to the external world. And when you close those eyes, that's when your inner eye opens and you start looking inwards and you start loving yourself. That's the first step in realization. You start loving yourself. Each person is a beautiful soul. Trust me, each person is a beautiful soul. There is nobody on this planet who doesn't have goodness within them. There is not one person on this planet who doesn't have goodness within. It is up to you to discover what is the goodness inside you. Now, there is a downside of this. The downside is that you're so much in love with yourself that you think that you're above everything. That is the downside. That is the biggest downside. You're so much in love with yourself that you think that everybody else is a load of waste of space, and I'm perfect, I'm the best. That's the downside as well. We've got to be careful to balance between this and that, and understand that when we look inwards, we understand that, okay, these are the areas where we need to improve as individuals. And when we find out those areas, we work on those areas. So they say, suppress your negatives and improve on your positives. Suppress your negatives, improve on your positives. How will you do that? When you start looking inwards and start falling in love with your own self. So, coming back here, the beauty of the Atman and our great love for it becomes very clear when we start looking inwards. The Shakti of the individual Jiva, each Jiva has got a Shakti, and that Shakti is Kundalini. And the Shakti of Sadashiva is Tripura Sundari. And who is Devi? Devi is she who is the great Tripura Sundari, or Maha Tripura Sundaryai Namaha. The next one, 235. Chatusashtyupacharadhya. Chatusashtyupacharadhyayai Namaha. Chatusashti refers to 64. 64. Chatusashti. So Chatur means refers to 4. Sashti, which is the 60. So 64 Upacharadhya. There are upasanas or ceremonies that are carried out for Devi. And how are these ceremonies carried out? How many of them? 64 ceremonies are carried out. So these 64 ceremonies are described in Parashurama's Kalpa Sutra. Parashurama's Kalpa Sutra details these 64 ceremonies that are there. Yeah. So there are many more. Some people talk of many more. Another 8 more ceremonies are also covered in a few other texts. So let's not go down that route. Our objective is to look at the important ones. Yeah. So what we have as part of these. So when you're doing the invitation to Devi, we are doing things like the 16 of them. 16 of them are extremely important. What are these important ones? One is invocation. Invocation. You're talking of royal invitation. Yeah, the royal invitation, which is inviting the Devi. You're inviting the Devi. It's called as Avahana. Yeah, and then you provide a jeweled throne. It's called as the Simhasana. Then you consider personal care. So you offer water for washing feet. So you wash the feet of Devi. It's called as Padya. Then you bathe with various substances like milk and honey. It is called as Abhisheka. Apply sandalwood paste, Gandha. Then you give exquisite garments, Vastra, ornaments, Abharana, and a crown. Sensory pleasures. You do things like lighting an incense, Dhupa, offering lamps, Deepa, and offering a variety of foods. What is it called? Naivedya. These are all the things that we do. Entertainment. You perform arts, music, dance, reciting Vedic hymns for Devi's pleasure. So these are all part of what is called as Sri Vidya traditions, and you can experience the presence of God, the presence of Devi by performing these things. You should do it not as what we call as a ritual. Don't do it as a ritual. If you do it as a ritual, you will feel nothing. You will feel nothing. You will feel zero presence of Devi when you do it as a ritual. When you do it with all your feeling, feel the presence of Devi. Feel the presence of Devi coming into your home. feel her, you're inviting her, allow her to sit on a simhasana. Yeah. So all these things, when you do it with feeling, you will definitely feel the presence of Devi besides you. So there is another further detailing is there. So we talked of Vamahana, we talked of Simhasana or the Asana, then we talked of Padya, offering water or other materials called as Arghya, water for rinsing the mouth, Achamana, bath, Snana, clothes, Vastra, ornaments, Abharana, Chandana, Pushpa, Dupa, Deepa, Naivedya, Tambula, Pradakshina, and Namaskara. These are the several ways, or the 16 ways in which, most important ways in which you do these puja or ceremonies for Devi. We'll go on to the next one. 236. Chatussashti Kalamayyai Namaha. Om Chatussashti Kalamayyai Namaha. Again, we are referring to 64. And what are these 64? 64 kalas. Now you have the kala which is referred to here is a part of the splendor of the self. Your own expression of your own self comes across as kala. Yeah. So this Chatussashti kala. Yeah, there are several aspects of Chatussashti kala which we will cover in this particular discussion here. The Chatussashti kala, it's basically an ability for displaying what is there inside, which is the ability for displaying what is there inside you. Arjuna was referred to as Savyasachin. Savyasachin because he had this natural, he was ambidextrous. He could use his left hand as well to let go of an arrow, yeah, to shoot arrows from his left hand as well. So Arjuna is supposed to be the son of Indra, and art is the creation of the Atman. And anything related to the arts is a manifestation of Devi. Anything related to the arts is a manifestation of Devi. They say that actually, if you look at the arts, the Moola mantra of arts is actually Lord Shiva. They say that Lord Shiva, especially music, Lord Shiva is supposed to be the person from whom the arts, especially music, is supposed to have come. But then if you look at it in another way, where is Shiva getting his strength from? Shiva is getting his strength from Shakti. So therefore, is it Shiva or is it Shakti? It's got to be Shakti. So Shakti is the root cause of all aspects related to arts. Now the good thing for all of us is that when you look at it from an arts perspective, virtually everything that we all do, virtually everything that we all do is can be classified as arts. Can be classified as arts. So we have got things like Gita Vidya, which is vocal music and singing, Vadya Vidya, playing musical instruments, Nritya and Natya, dancing and theatrical performance, Alekha Vidya, art of painting, physical and decorative arts, Visheshaka Chedya, body decoration and face painting with colors, Malya Gradhana, designing and making floral garlands, Vastra Gopana, mastery over the art of dressing and concealing clothes, Kesha Marjana, hair care, combing and styling, Chitra Shaka Pupa, preparing delicious and decorative food and drinks, Sayya Rachana, the art of making and decorating beds, Suchi Vaya Karma, needlework, sewing and weaving, Vastu Vidya, architecture and engineering, Dhatu Vada, metallurgy and the study of metals, Yantra Matrika, mechanics and the crafting of machines, Raupya Ratna Pariksha, testing and valuing silver and gemstones, Prahelika, creating and solving riddles, Kavya Samasya Purana, completing complex or enigmatic poetic verses, Desha Bhasha Jnana, knowledge of various regional dialects and languages, Manasikavya Kriya, mentally composing poetry, Aindra Jala, magic, juggling, sleight of hand, Druta Visesha, understanding specific types of gambling, can you believe? Understanding types of gambling and the games of chance, Vaijayiki Vidya, the art of gaining victory and strategic warfare. These are just some examples of what is called as the 64 arts. 64 arts. Everyone must be fitting somewhere. If you look at the 64 arts, we will be there somewhere in this. So if you think that no, what is this? I can't do this, I can't do that. That person is doing this. That person is standing on his head. I am not able to stand on my head. I am not able to lift my leg during yoga. I can't do this. Don't despair. There will be something that you can do. There will be something that you can do. So whatever little you can do, even that is indicative of the fact that there is Devi's grace inside you. If you can fit into one of these 64, you will be there. So you look at you. Can you draw? Yeah, I can draw. Okay, so I'm there. Can you paint? Okay, fine. Can you do something else? Brilliant. So there are other things also, magic, juggling. If you ask me, each and every one of the ladies out here qualify for this. What is that? Which is that? One second. I will tell you the exact one where all the ladies are involved. Yeah. Which is that is related to magic. Yeah. It is related to magic, where the ladies are using magic, the magic of juggling. Which of the ladies here are not juggling amongst several aspects of their lives? You go to the kitchen, one side you are having sambar being prepared, another side another sabji is being done, the third side you are making chapatis, fourth side the rice is cooking. All that is juggling. If you are rolling the chapati and then at the same time you are able to heat it up, you ask me to do it, I can't do it. I can do only one thing at a time. Or the ladies who are career orientated, they are working, they are they are managing the kitchen, they are managing their children, they are managing the husband. So all these things are there, managing so many things at the same time. That is also juggling. So therefore, it is don't belittle yourself. That's what I'm trying to say, the bottom line. So she is Chatussashti Kalamayai Namaha. 237. Maha Chatussashti Koti Yogini Ganasevitayai Namaha. Om Maha Chatussashti Koti Yogini Ganasevitayai Namaha. She who is attended by 64 crores of yoginis. 64 crores of yoginis. There are eight main yoginis who are attending on to Devi, who are taking care of Devi. Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Mahendri, Chamundi and Mahalakshmi. These are the 8 main yoginis who are taking care of Devi. Each of them has 8 Shaktis. So 8 8s, already we have 64. And each of these 64 have 1 crore yoginis as parts of themselves. So you have a total of 64 crores of them, as part of the Devis. Now, if you look at the Sri Chakra, if you look at the Sri Chakra, there is in fact, Jalaja will post a picture of the Sri Chakra in the WhatsApp group as well. In the Sri Chakra, you have a total of 9 areas in the Sri Chakra. The first area of the Sri Chakra is called as the Trilokya Mohana Chakra. So that is a square. The Sri Chakra, the first aspect is called as the Trilokya Mohana Chakra, and there are 4 gates of this square, which is called as the Bhupura. It's called as the Bhupura, and this is the starting point of a person's spiritual journey, a seeker's spiritual journey. Yeah, and the person responsible for this is Tripura Sundari or Tripura Devi. So in each of the 9 chakras, I spoke about the 9 chakras, which is part of the Sri Vidya chakra. In each of these 9 chakras, there are a group of 64 crore yoginis are present, and all of these devis are collectively referred to in this mantra, which is Maha Chatusashti Koti Yogini Ganasevidayai Namaha. Now, this is the thousands of energies of desire, Icha Shakti, that revolve around the mind, are implied by this group of yoginis. So, I'll just quickly talk of the different areas of the Sri Chakra. You have the Trilokya Mohana Chakra. The inner chakra is called as the Trilokya Mohana Kavacham. And further it goes, keeps going further inner and inner, and ultimately the one right at the middle is called as the Bindu. It's all triangles, and after it goes, you have the lotuses that are formed inward, and after the lotuses you have several triangles, and right at the middle of the triangle is the Bindu, which is referring to the Sahasranamam chakra. All right. So this is Maha Chatusashti Koti Yogini Gana Sevidayai Namaha. The next name refers to Manu Vidya. Om Manu Vidyayai Namaha. She who is the embodiment of Manu Vidya. So who is Manu? Manu is one of the 12 primary creations. Yeah, and the name, there are other total of 12 devotees, and the method of devotion to Sri Vidya, method of devotion to Sri Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi, as contained by Manu or as explained by Manu, is called as Manu Vidya. And who are the total people who are the 12 devotees of Devi? Manu, Chandra, Kubera, Lopamudra, Agastya, Manmadha, Agni, Surya, Indra, Skanda, Shiva, and Durvasas. These are the 12 people who were devotees of Devi. And the method of worship formulated by each of them is given in the scriptures as well. So she who is the embodiment of Manu Vidya. 239. Chandra Vidya. Om Chandra Vidyayai Namaha. She who is the embodiment of Chandra Vidya. Chandra is one of the other 12 names. One was Manu, and the next name which came after that is Chandra. So she is the embodiment of the Chandra Vidya. He is the person who represents that form of worship of Devi. The last one, Chandra Mandala Madhyaga. Om Chandra Mandala Madhyagayai Namaha. She who resides in the center of Chandra Mandala. And what is Chandra Mandala? Chandra Mandala is the moon's disk. Chandra Mandala is the moon's disk. Now, each person has got their the physical body, and the strength of that physical body is in the form of Kundalini. So the internal strength of the person is Kundalini, and the Shakti in the Brahmanda, in the cosmos, is Tripura Sundari. So, what this talks of is that when the Kundalini rises, breaks through the 6 Adhara chakras and comes to the top, enters the Sahasrara and reaches its pericarp. When it reaches the Sahasrara chakra, 1000 petal lotus, and reaches the pericarp, that causes the flow of Amrita. That is nectar, flow of nectar. So, in this particular thing, we talk of the 9th enclosure, which is the final enclosure of the Sri Chakra, and that is called as the Sarva Anandamaya, the center point or Bindu. And in this Sarva Anandamaya, there is a cooling nectar producing energy, and this energy is also called as Amrita. So the Vagbhava Kuta, if you remember, you have 3 parts of Devi's body. The Shakti Kuta, which is the lower portion from her hip downwards, the Madhya Kuta, which is from the hip up till the neck, and the Vagbhava Kuta, which is from the neck upwards. It is in this area, it is called as the Chandra Mandala. This is the area referring to Chandra Mandala, the upper part of goddess's body. And what does this refer to? This area is the area for jnana or knowledge. This is the region that secretes Amrita, and it is supposed to rejuvenate the practitioner during deep meditation, and this is considered to be a cooling or a nourishing flow. So the moon, if you look at the moon is cold, and the sun or fire is hot. And the moon and fire can also be happiness and sorrow. Happiness and sorrow. And there are all different such opposites. You can talk of joy and sorrow. So several aspects in which you have dual nature or dual opposites that are there, that represent the moon and the fire. And similarly, Shiva and Shakti manifest in the same form. Shiva and Shakti manifest in this same form as opposites. And let us remember that if Shiva needs to progress, he needs Shakti. Without Shakti, Shiva will not be able to progress. So this brings us to the end of today's discussion. Tomorrow we will go up till 250. We'll see if we can go beyond 250. Probably see if we can do 255 till 255 tomorrow. And on Saturday we'll have the chanting at the same time, which is at 3:30 Dubai time. I think Salila is still not here. So 3:30 Dubai time, we'll have the chanting. So I'll try and complete the rest of the chants, the rest of the shlokas as well by today, so that we are up to date in the shlokas. I offer these words at the lotus feet of Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Lokaha Samastaha Sugino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karacharana Gridam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayana va Manasam va Paradam Vihidam Avihidam va Sarvametakshamasva. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Jaya Jaya Karunabde Shri Mahadeva Shambho. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.